So my name is Fawwaz Habbal, and it's an Arabic name, but I live in the United States, and I've been living there for some time. So my position is I'm working in the School of Engineering and Applied Sciences at Harvard University. I'm the Executive Dean for Education and Research, and I also teach, so I have both kind of administrative duties and teaching duties. By background, I'm an applied physicist, and I worked first in research for a long time. And then later I went to industry, and in industry, of course, we are focused into creating products and value for the company. So what we had to deal with is, that time this was like in the 90s, so there were a lot of eagerness to create new products and new inventions so the company can grow into new dimensions. That led us to think that the whole perspective that we had was not usable, and we need to reinvent basically all the product design. So we ended up creating a process to design the design, basically. And so we ended up with changing the process of design itself. And we always focus on the customer, but we had far more focus on the customers. We created prototypes so people can play with it, think about it, and give us feedback. We observe them closely. We ask them closely. And the demography changed quite a bit. Initially, it was for product were for middle-aged people. We moved to younger groups and also relatively older groups. So that was between the 90s and early 90s to the 2000 time. When I was talking, I was describing really a kind of a previous life in some sense, because I lived in academia and also I lived in industry, and then later I came back to academia. So successful projects are, I wouldn't say any of them is completely successful. What I saw in many cases is project, they succeed and then they needed to some evolution of some sort. So I'll give you one example of an interesting project that we started some time ago, which was around creating printers that can operate in emergency rooms or in hospitals in general. So these printers have to be extremely reliable, and they can't have chemicals. They have to produce X-ray quality films, but without chemicals at that time. We spent some time really defining the customer requirement first and what's needed. And then we came using some inventions to create a complete product, which had extreme high reliability and at the same time produced quality equivalent to normal X-ray, wet chemistry X-ray. So I think it was a very successful product at that time, yeah. You know, one should never start from technical solution and try to find a problem to solve. As once someone told me that if you have a hammer, everything looks like a nail. That's a bad analogy, but it's true. So at the same time, it's really difficult to look at a project and say, okay, this is what people need. This is what they should have, yet what technology you want to implement to make it, and sometimes technology doesn't exist. So there is an interplay between development of research and technology and what people need. And I want to emphasize in this point here system integration, system thinking, and how one can produce what I call it more or less complete product where it can satisfy the customer need, but it has to be integrating what's feasible and not relying completely on something that happen in the future or can happen in the future. We practice design thinking, I would say, without particular rules, without particular theories behind it. We went into it intuitively, and we've been successful in general, I would say. Almost everyone, every group had done design thinking and converged to the same point, and that's great. I think there is still something missing in my mind, is this question of, and I think today there was some discussion around like designing for aging groups and aging people. I think this concept of mindfulness, which I use the word mindfulness, is extremely important, where we introduce feelings and thoughts around how we have insights and consciousness about the environment, about the people, about what they really need. That goes, in my mind, goes beyond understanding the environment itself, understanding the needs for the product and the use of the product. It really goes beyond that to where we can be not only empathizing, but also having some mindfulness about how things evolve and how things will change in time. In education, I find it very interesting to take that dimension and explore it. And I think very few places now are exploring it, in education at least. Maybe in the future will be more. But the whole concept of understanding, mentally understanding who we are and how we think as a human being is really critical for design thinking.